41,700. Bitcoin is morning, man. Let's take a look what the next big resistance level for Bitcoin is, how far this could go, and what it means for altcoins as well. So this should be pretty interesting. Already like the video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. Happy Monday. This is actually a happy Monday. For the people that have a position, not bad. So Bitcoin is doing very well. I've been personally dollar costing into Bitcoin for a long time with $1,000 every week, and it has been paying off like crazy. Now, the cool thing is, of course, a lot of people, they feel like, yeah, whatever, Bitcoin doesn't matter, it won't give you great returns anyway. But in this stage of the market, it's actually pretty good, right? If you look what Bitcoin did from the bottom until where we are right now, it's up 168%. If we take a look what altcoins did from the exact bottom until where we are right now, it's up 150%. So it's kind of almost the same as Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is, of course, way less risk. So that's so beautiful about this, that with the lowest risk asset in crypto, you can now, in this stage of the market, make the highest returns. And at a certain point, I will feel like, okay, enough profits are made. Now let's convert it into altcoins. But first, let's take a look how high Bitcoin could actually go. If you want to have more insights, by the way, there's a Patreon link down below where you can get a lot of exclusive videos and insane a lot of content. So do check it out. For now, if I take a look at Bitcoin, then let's take a look what the big next resistance area actually is. And it is not too far from here. It's $43,000 from what I see. We had this support over here. We had more support over here. We had resistance at that area, a little piece of resistance. And it kind of looks like we are heading there right now. If we take the Fibonacci and we put it over the last run, you can see that the 0.618 is actually coming in 42K, give or take. So kind of where we are, between where we are right now and that $43,000 resistance area. So it makes sense. If we break that, however, then according to Fib, the next big resistance area should be at $58,000. But apart from what Phoebe tells us right here, I mean, Phoebe can make it seem very nice, but $48,000 should be a big level as well. If we take a look at Bitcoin on the monthly, then it's a little more clear that 47,200, give or take. So if it keeps on running, then these are the two levels that I'm interested in. I did take some profits on my Bitcoin with 10%. So not a lot, but I do feel like, man, I've been making quite some money on Bitcoin and it's been running very hard. Now, you can always look at crypto like, yeah, but it could still go higher. Yes, but at a certain point, you should also feel like, hey, when to take some profits. Well, I'll take some profits off the table. So a little bit of Bitcoin of 41,500. And yeah, as I'm still 90% in Bitcoin with that position, I certainly hope that it goes higher. But if it goes a little lower, I'm fine. Could buy back right there. But after such a hard pump, the thing is that what we talked about before is whenever we pumped, we had resistance. Once we broke it, we retested that as support. And we did not do that at this $32,000 level yet. We broke above it, but there was no support tested yet. So I would not be surprised if we retest that level, to be very honest. And it seems far away, like far away, but it's actually just 25%. And after a 160% run, hey, how weird is it to correct with a little 25% before we move on, right? Now, the thing, what else is running with Bitcoin is the Bitcoin dominance. As I said, my strategy is I'm mostly into Bitcoin and then later buy altcoins with that Bitcoin. And as you can see, this is the altcoin market, the total tree without USDT on its Bitcoin pair. So just the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair, basically. Yeah, it just has to go down with another 4% and we are at the bottom. So altcoins, it sounds weird, right? Because altcoins had a good run, but just 4% down and we're back at the bottom. against the Bitcoin pair, right? But that's just because Bitcoin went up more than altcoins did collectively, right? I know there are always altcoins that ran more than Bitcoin, but collectively, right? Therefore, we do see the Bitcoin dominance going up right now, and it looks that it's well on the way to put in new highs right here. So. Um, it's not an alt season. It's a clear Bitcoin season. This has been a clear uptrend, and it shows really no sign of a downtrend. And this is doing exactly kind of the same as Bitcoin, right? We have resistance. We stay there for a long time. We break out, but we retest it as support before we move on. Then we break out again, but we retest that previous resistance here with this wick as support. Now, if it continues like that, you could expect something like this, a run up in the Bitcoin dominance, maybe retest this the level of 54%, and then, continue to do what it's doing. A lot of altcoins themselves, they don't necessarily look that good. If we look at some big ones, at least, right? For example, BNB. Well, let's start on the dollar pair. It looks like it is holding up, right? It looks like it's holding up. But then again, if you overlay Bitcoin on it, you can see that BNB is now sitting at the same level over here. But there, Bitcoin was sitting at $26,000. Now it's sitting at $41,000. So Bitcoin has gone from 26 to 41, and BNB hasn't done a thing, right? And that shows, of course, that BNB on its Bitcoin pair, yeah, that's looking really how should I put this? Concerning, right? Because BNB on its Bitcoin pair is well on the way to go down a little more. We spoke about this a long time ago, and we said it's probably heading down to this level. Now we're already halfway down. We just have 14, 15% to go before we get there. And that's not even the troubling thing. But if it's here and Bitcoin then gets a correction, yeah, BNB already lost it against Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin is becoming worth less as well, then BNB on its dollar pair could have a pretty huge crash. And there's no room for a huge crash. So I can actually see BNB completely go to shit, to be honest. Unless the dominance now goes down and everything changes. But other than that, I do think that BNB is in for some big ass trouble. And you might feel like, yo, whatever, it's just BNB. But a lot of coins are paired with BNB. It's one of the biggest altcoins out there, and if the big ones fall, the smaller ones do fall with it. You can even see that with Ethereum, right? Ethereum now it's running on its dollar pair for sure, right? But if you look at Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair, yeah, it is breaking down. Let's hope that it holds this level. If it holds, then it's okay. If it breaks down, then altcoins could have a um, it's such not a popular take, right? Everything is going up. And then there's that fucking Dutch YouTuber that says, like, hey, be careful with altcoins. And a lot of people feel like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Altcoins are doing well. But they're not, right? They're not. Again, this is the altcoin. This is the collective, the everything altcoin on its Bitcoin pair. Again, it's sitting at the bottom, right? So the only reason that alts are holding up is because Bitcoin is going up, right? But Bitcoin won't go up forever. So again, if it has a correction, and it might go up further first, right? But if it has a correction, yeah, then these alts could take quite of a big hit, and then we can finally see this thing going down right here. And I think that's the time to really buy heavily into altcoins. I'm not trying to time the bottom too much, but a little tactic and strategy is what I would apply at this stage. But hey, that's altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, right? If you do not hold Bitcoin, like this is how you get the most out of it. But if you do feel like, yeah, whatever, I'm not doing that, and I'm just buying directly with dollars, yeah, then this is not that interesting for you. Then you should look at altcoins on the dollar pair. And to be honest, let's start with the total three. Now the total three is looking quite good. It is interesting though that Bitcoin just put in a new yearly high in the altcoin market. Well, kind of struggles to do so, right? If you compare it, Bitcoin clear new high and the total three, no, well, yeah, not really. So it does show that they are running behind and that altcoins are sitting at a resistance area where Bitcoin is basically in some kind of a price discovery right now. Um, However, I must say that once the total three really starts to break out, then I think we are in for some way higher levels. But we're not there yet, so don't get me wrong. But I do think that this level right here is the first like around major resistance, the 505 billion. It's now sitting at 428. So that's still a huge difference. But we are now also in a resistance area, which is like quite hard. This whole area for altcoins is I don't know why it's drawn like this. By the way, it's more like whatever. This whole area is quite hard for altcoins, to be honest. If we do take a look at the others chart, others is the better altcoin chart. The total three is everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum, but yeah, we're then also talking about stables, and that's not that relevant. The others chart is everything except the top 10. So no BNB, no Solana, no Cardano, no Dogecoin, but no USDC, no USDT, no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, and whatever is left there. So that's this. So this gives a very much more clear view on what the altcoin market is actually doing. And if we take a look at this, yeah, this has been going up. This is looking fantastic, and the I do think there is some room to go up left. I think that the altcoin market can push it with another like 5% maybe collectively. Then we are sitting at the top of this range, right? And that's where the real resistance comes in. We are now not really, especially not on a monthly chart, as you see where we are right now. Yeah, there's no real resistance right there. But it comes in over here. That's $182 billion, give or take. If we break that, yeah, then it's party time. Then we can say like, okay, guys, we're going way higher. But to be honest, to do something like this where we just keep on going, I don't know about that. The healthy way is to go and have a retracement, go further, retracement, go further. And these retracements are the ones that I am going to buy. I'm not buying the top of a green candle necessarily. I don't think that's very wise. But like I said, mostly I'm buying with my Bitcoin anyway. This chart, though, is something that makes me quite bullish. This is the USDT dominance, and the USDT dominance shows how much USDT is dominating. And so it basically means that once it goes down, people are putting their money from USDT into crypto when it's going up. When it is going up, people are taking profits, right? They are putting their crypto into USDT. And we were sitting at this major support area, major support. But we're breaking it. We are breaking it at this moment. Now, there is some support left at where we are right now, but to be honest, it's not much. And if we do break that, then the first big support level comes in at 4.9%, give or take. And that's down with another 16%. Just for your reference, let's take it from October. We had basically this the whole month of October, that candle was kind of the same, right? So this candle right here is something that we can get over here almost. What did Bitcoin do in October? Well, Bitcoin in October went up with 30%, right? So if we do get that from the USDT dominance, then Bitcoin won't go up 30% probably, as the price is now higher and it takes more USDT to pump Bitcoin. But let's say 25%, something like that. That could mean that Bitcoin will see, well, way higher levels, and it doesn't have to go all to Bitcoin. It could definitely be that Bitcoin just pumps with 13% to get to the next big resistance area, but the rest is going into the altcoin market, for example, and that takes it to that $220 billion. This could actually be the case. So shorter term, when it comes to that, it doesn't look that bad, but it depends. Like, hey, is this just going to be a fake out, or is this a sustainable break to the downside, right? And again, we have some support left over in this area. We have major support over here. We had support over here. So we are coming in right there. And yeah, we have this little wick somewhere right here, but it's not much. It's not much. So very curious to see how this is going to play out. But it seems like not necessarily new money is coming. Yeah, there is new money coming into the market. The total market cap is going up as well. But most of the money now that makes Bitcoin pump is because of the USDT that people had and that they are now deploying. You see that people are now having FOMO, right? People, now everything is going up, and now people are really putting their USDT in the market, right? They are a little too late, actually. So that's interesting to see. So to be honest, it could go both places at this moment. And I spoke a lot about pullbacks. I still think that we will get a pullback, like probably. But it doesn't mean that in the meantime we cannot have a very good push upwards first before we get that pullback, right? And what's just most important to me is the dominance. Right, it's just mostly because I have a good Bitcoin back, and that's my dry powder. So if altcoins go down against Bitcoin, yeah, then I can buy altcoins cheap. And again, for the people that hold Bitcoin, they can now basically buy the bottom on the collective altcoin market, and it's very likely that we will go lower than this. Like I said in a couple of videos ago, it's scary, man. Last cycle, we came down, we had to bottom, we went up, got rejected by the bull market support band, came down there again, then we went up, small push, rejected by the bull market support band again, came down, broke, right? What did we do right now? Exactly the same in the same time period of the 4-year cycle as well. We came down to it, had a push to the upside, got rejected by the bull market support band, came down to it again, a smaller bounce, rejected by the bull market support band, and we're now back here, break, right? That it's so like playing out exactly the same. It's crazy. Therefore, it's good to have Bitcoin, because although you may not be able to buy altcoins lower on the dollar pair, you can still buy them lower on the Bitcoin pair. And you can still catch around the bottom on these things, right? And that's so beautiful about this whole game. You can apply multiple strategies that can make you money. Now, again, like I said, what for me is important is the Bitcoin dominance. We will push this thing higher, definitely. I mean, Bitcoin is making new highs right now. Let me draw this thing here. Bitcoin is making new highs right now. The Bitcoin dominance is very close to making new highs, and this will at least go to 57 or 60%, somewhere in that area, because where we are right now, major support sitting, major support, right? So we have major resistance right here, but as you can see, the Bitcoin dominance has been breaking all of these resistance levels one by one. So although again the altcoin market is doing very well, still Bitcoin is the winner, and yeah, it's lower risk. So at this stage of the market, interesting, right? Beginning next year, I won't be that interested in Bitcoin no more, because then the dominance is already sitting quite high, right? The return on Bitcoin is getting less and less, and the altcoin market is still yet to really break out, and then it's good to really be in these altcoins to ride that wave. So we first wrote the Bitcoin bull market, as far as you can call this a bull market, pre-bull market, whatever, and then put it into altcoins, just rotate your capital, right, and write a double bull market basically. So yeah, what I've been doing right now is I've been definitely taking some profits off the table. As you saw in yesterday's video or the day before that, I'm not completely sure anymore, that it is quite likely that we will see a pretty brutal correction, and it's brutal not in the way that how big the correction is going to be, but brutal in the way that nobody is going to expect it anymore, right? If I talk about a correction, you know how much shit I get on YouTube, like, no, it's not gonna happen, it's too late, you missed the boat, blah 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 blah. And that's exactly what makes it so brutal, because people think like, hey, it's going up, it's now up only, right? That's how it works. No, it's not how it works. Corrections happen when you least expect it. And like showed you in multiple charts, it's just scary how actually we've been copying last cycle and the cycle before that. And yeah, in both cycles we had a correction, right? So I'm not saying like, okay, we're gonna copy all the moves up, but the move down, we're not gonna do that. Like, let's stay unbiased when it comes to that. The last thing, I think this has a lot to do with the fact that the S&P is also doing really well, but you know, it's a combination of the S&P doing well, people anticipating the halving event, and the ETFs that we are getting. Plus, if the chart actually starts to run, then it's also a psychological thing. Like, people see it running and they be like, "Hey, I want to be there," right? It's a combination of multiple things. Now, I do feel like, hey, if you feel FOMO for the market right now, there's one thing that can help you by not doing stupid things. Go to Google, type fear and greed index, and see that the fear and greed index is actually at the highest point it has ever been since the top of the last bull market, since here, right? People have never been so greedy. And you know what they say: when there's greed, sell; when there's fear, buy. People are now doing the opposite though, right? There's greed and people are buying. The price goes up, yes, but overall it's greedy. The market is overheated. It's a lot of green. If we take a look at the RSIs, very overheated right there as well. We are facing some major resistances. The only thing that, like what I said, is really interesting to me is the USDT dominance breaking down. But again, we could bounce here, or it could be a fake out. I don't want to cheer too soon. However, if we do break down to these levels, then I think we are in for a very big push up. And if that's going to happen, I'm going to take a lot of profits off the table, because this is not the bull run yet. The bull run will start very soon. Very soon. In my opinion, June, give or take, next year. So half a year. I think then really the bull run is going to start. But if we can get the chance to take some profits off the table now, before that happens, yeah, then it's only more money we can allocate to the real bull market and make some real money. So if you like the video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. See you guys tomorrow.